Hello again, welcome back to another one of these. I'll be a bit of a quick one. This will just have to re-record the whole thing because my dodgy microphones once again. A couple of things. Basically, I want to quickly chat about the quite recent instances of people trying to land things on the south pole of the moon. One was the Russian Space Agency, and the other one was the Indian Space Agency. Okay, first thing I want to touch on is the common fact that every flat earther, conspiracy theorist, space denier, demonstrable realists, etc., will clamp onto immediately is that it's all fake, it's all CGI, nothing is real, and we're all being lied to. The big NASA lies, all this. Fun fact: the two most recent attempts to land something on the moon, or the three most recent attempts to land something on the moon, nothing whatsoever to do with NASA. Not involved at all. I think they might have helped out with some telemetry. I know the European Space Agency did, but NASA, nothing to do with them at all, apart from obviously watching and applauding in their endeavours. So the Indian Space Agency very recently landed, after a couple of disasters, God bless them, the Chandrayaan-3 lander on the south pole of the moon. The mission, which everybody's desperate to get down there for, is there may be water ice on the south pole of the moon. And this is important because one of the main fuels for rockets is hydrogen. And if there is water ice down there, they can separate the hydrogen from the oxygen, and literally they can make rocket fuel. I believe something along the lines of when a rocket, something like a Saturn V, leaves the Earth's atmosphere, 70 to 75% of their entire fuel supply is spent just getting out of the atmosphere. That's how much effort it takes. Once they're in orbit, once they're in low Earth orbit, it's literally just little pushes here or there to maintain orbit speed. Sorry, the rabbit's going a bit nuts. Could you calm down, please? Thank you. That's what they need. So to get a fuel supply outside the Earth's atmosphere, so to speak, we've spoken about this before, would be a massive boon to further space exploration. Not in our lifetime. I've spoken about this before. We ain't going anywhere unless we learn how to make babies in space. But anyway, getting back to the point. So, two elements here that need to be addressed. First point, Russia's lander, the Lunar 25, crashed on the lunar surface after they I think they tried to send a message to the lander to lower its orbit. They lost communication, and after that it ceased to exist after crashing onto the lunar surface. I love it when they come up with this terminology. Conscious uncoupling, that kind of thing. Yeah, that was Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow, by the way. India lands on the moon. All of the images coming back are immediately CGI. They're all fake. Never happened. It's all a charade. It's all a pantomime. It's all tosh. I think you see where I'm going with this one. But Russia put their hands up and said ours crashed. Now, if everybody who tries to land something on the moon is faking it, why is Russia saying their one crashed? If it's all a tissue of lies, why is a country that is, quite frankly, at the moment, on a massive ego trip cemented by, invading another country and killing all their people, why would they turn around and say, we cocked this one up, when it would have been so much better for them on the world stage to say, look how amazing we are, look what we can do, we can land things on the moon and we can do it like that. No, they turn around and says, we cocked it up, it broke, and it doesn't work anymore, and it doesn't exist anymore. If all of these space agencies are all in it together and all part of the big NASA lie, why did they admit they got it wrong? Something else I want to bring up, and I have seen this before. Flat earthers, conspiracy theorists, space deniers seem to be labouring under the misapprehension that any time that somebody sends up a rocket to go anywhere, the James Webb Telescope is another example. That's the one I was trying to think of. James Webb Telescope, when it was deployed, they seem to think that all the images coming back are real. They're actually of the craft, the probe, the lander, the whatever, are actual images, when they are clearly, obviously, CG rendered images based on the telemetry being sent back by the craft in question. The James Webb Telescope is millions of miles away. Of course we're not going to have another rocket sent up alongside the James Webb Telescope just to have a camera pointing at the telescope as it unfurled Of course we're not. You're talking about a quarter to half of the existing budget just to send a camera up to feed your curiosity. And if that doesn't work either, it's risky enough sending a rocket in real time. Rabbit, what's it doing?
She's licking my foot.
Are you wearing socks though?
What? No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay. Lovely. Sorry about that. We do let them run rampant. Anyway, sidebar. What the hell was that? James Webb Telescope and the Lunar Lander and everything like that. Nobody's sending up a camera just to watch things happen. The telemetry alone is enough. The CG imagery being sent back that was being displayed on screen by the Indian Space Agency was not a picture or was not a real-time video of the actual India lander landing on the moon. You would have to be a brainless cretin to think it was.
Now that just shows you how bad it's got. Space history has just been made there in front of our very eyes. And yet all we've seen is probably up there in the top 5 worst bits of special effects I think I've ever seen cited from a space agency. You see the obvious problem here?
I rest my case. Okay, very short and sweet one. Quick conclusion. If all of the space agencies were faking everything, why did Russia admit theirs crashed? And secondly, no one ever said that the images you saw of the Indian lander or the James Webb Telescope were actually of the craft in real time. It's just a 3D extrapolation of the telemetry being sent back to the space agency. Would you mind, you just ruined my big moment then, Rabbit? Bloody thing. We have bunny problems. Okay, thank you very much for watching. A very short and sweet one. Congratulations to the Indian Space Agency for landing on their lander on the moon. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. If you want me to have a look at anything else, please let me know. I've got something weird going on with my YouTube channel, or it just might be YouTube working perfectly, where if I search for certain items, when I was trying to research this, I was looking for Indians faked the space landing. Nothing came up apart from footage of the space landing, of the moon landing. So I think it just might be working perfectly because it's obviously trying to drum out or trying to wheedle out all the false information, unless you look for them specifically. Case in point.
The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters and we are nearing
I'm seeing some interesting patterns in that propulsion system there. In fact, bear with me. I thought so. I mean, look, it's an unusual pattern their thrusters are creating there off their little RC thrusters off this historical cartoon here. But when you look at the RC thrusters, the pattern that is given us, and then you look at the shape of the lunar lander, the historical cartoon lunar lander, you end up with a Masonic compass and square there. You can't make this stuff up. You really can't.
So if there's anything you'd like me to have a look at and pore over, I have got something. I might go back to David Weiss next weekend to see how I get on. It'll be another short one. It'll be about fun with flight paths. In doing the research for the last part of the last video, I found something quite interesting, which they all seem to be hinging their evidence on, which is anything but, as per usual. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and good night.